I wonder what's going on Blue Jays Twitter right now. Holy mother of God. What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Shohei Ohtani, as we all know, is the most prized free agent of this entire offseason, and today we're going to be talking about how the Toronto Blue Jays could seriously be pursuing this dude. Before we do, please make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoy Blue Jays and baseball content so you don't miss any future videos. Alright folks, let's get into it. So yesterday, Blue Jays Hot Stove on Twitter, an apparent Blue Jays insider tweeted this out. So I've learned this week that the Blue Jays have two payroll budgets. One is their standard payroll budget, which we saw this year, and the other is a unicorn exception budget, which is much higher. Seriously, pursuing Ohtani sounds like a real thing this offseason. Whew! Here we go, folks. So when I first read that tweet, the inner fan in me just exploded in this orgasmic reaction, and it felt like it was Christmas freaking morning. But then, just moments later, I got hit by this wave. I got hit by this wave of skepticism, because how on earth are the Toronto Blue Jays gonna be in on Shohei freaking Ohtani? And I wasn't the only one. People were responding to this tweet asking for sources. They were saying that there's no way that he's coming to Toronto, and most people, even though I'm sure that they were very excited to hear this, they didn't want to let themselves believe it, you know, because if you start believing it, then if it doesn't happen, you're gonna get hurt. And I mean, let's face it, folks, even if the Toronto Blue Jays are in on Shohei Ohtani, the likelihood of it actually happening, it's probably gonna be pretty low. Now, Blue Jays Hot Stove came back and defended their initial tweet by saying that if you don't think the Jays and dozens of teams aren't allocating resources to make a run at Ohtani, then I'm not sure what to tell you. We're talking about the biggest baseball star on planet Earth, who is arguably the most valuable player to ever play the game. Jays have the money. Okay, so let's break this down just a little bit. Basically, this person is saying that the Toronto Blue Jays do in fact have the money, and they would be at least open to fitting the bill for a Shohei Ohtani if, of course, they can convince him to take his talents to Toronto. And as we all know, folks, right, Shohei Ohtani, this is the GOAT of baseball. You know, like, he is just so heads and tails above everybody else. He is unequivocally the best player in the world, and every single MLB team on the planet should want to have this dude on their team. I can also confidently say that if the Toronto Blue Jays did manage to get Shohei Ohtani onto their team, then I am 1000% all the way back on this team. So I think we can all agree that Shohei Ohtani is absolutely incredible and would undoubtedly just change the culture of any team that he went to, and that's why you got analysts literally projecting this guy to make $500, $600, $700 million over the rest of his career. Just absolutely stupid amounts of money. And I mean, like, minimum, he'd be making $45 to $50 million a year. Now, this has always been the problem associating the Blue Jays with Ohtani, because you're thinking to yourselves, damn, that does not fit into the standard budget that the Blue Jays always seemingly roll out. I guess we're gonna be out on him. But that all changes with this so-called unicorn budget. If the Toronto Blue Jays are doing what this person is suggesting, and they just have a much higher budget specifically for the purposes of signing Ohtani, then yeah, of course, they are going to be serious contenders for getting him. So really what this boils down to is whether or not we believe or do not believe Blue Jays Hot Stove. And in my opinion, I think I do. Now, I don't know if I'm buying into the fact that this person has sources or they don't. Like, maybe they do, maybe they don't, right? But honestly, I think I'm buying into the logic of what it is that they're saying. Ohtani isn't like any other player, so your budgeting and your offseason plans, they're not going to be like anything that you've done in the past. And something that people keep forgetting is that Ohtani kind of pays for himself. Ohtani puts fans in the seats, right? Like, he sells jerseys. You basically just acquire the entire country of Japan to your fan base, and that alone, that's valuable. Like, think about how often you heard about the MLS soccer team Inter Miami a few years ago. You know, you didn't. They just were not in the media at all until they get Lionel Messi onto their team, and now, you know, they're constantly popping up in highlights, they're constantly popping up in stories. That is what Ohtani would bring to any baseball team that he goes to. Ultimately, folks, I do think that the Toronto Blue Jays are going to be in on Shohei Ohtani. You know, I don't know if they're going to get him. Obviously, I hope that they do. It is going to be a very tough sell, but I do think that they are seriously going to throw their hat into the ring. But folks, let me know what you think about all this in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, go Jays, go.